Libra. Welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol. This is a general reading for July 2024, Libra. And so we're going to be doing the Hermit's Lantern this month. And this is where we take a deep dive into your shadow. So we're going to be doing some shadow work. If you're unfamiliar with the two terms shadow or shadow work, I've left a really good video in my description box below, which it's a video taken from my other channel called Carol Cares. And this video is really about facing your shadow, and it gives you a lot of ideas of how to do it. Some of us are unfamiliar how to do it or even what it is. It'll tell you what it is as well. If you've been on your journey and you're on the, facing your shadow journey, on your healing journey, because this channel is all about that, this video will actually give you some more ideas, and it's a compilation of what I've done throughout my 7 years of my own intensive healing journey, looking at my own shadow. So let's begin with number one, and we're going to look at, I'm going to use the Tarot of the Abyss to start off with. And we're going to look at, first of all, what's coming up in your shadow to heal, Libra. And then right beside that, I'm going to look at what the origin of it is. So it'll really, get into the specifics a bit of what it is. So let's begin with one card. I'm going to ask the shadow for one card to find out, Libra, what's coming up in your shadow to heal right now. We have the Two of Swords. And then I want to look at what the origin of this Two of Swords is. And I have the Three of Pentacles that wants to come out here. Okay. In the third spot, I'm going to look at how these two are showing up in your daily life. Because when we don't heal our shadow, when it's, that's what's sitting in our unconscious, things that we do not see that are hidden from us. When we don't heal it, when it's coming up, and we usually know when there's something coming up in our system, we continue to repress it and push it down, it's going to have an effect on our daily life, and the biggest area is probably going to be in our relationships. So let's see right here where it's showing up in your daily life right now, Libra. What's going on for you? Page of Swords. And in the fourth spot, I want to look at, Tarot's going to give you some guidance on how you can begin to heal this. You have the Moon card. And you also have the Three of Swords. And finally, in the middle position, it's how your life is going to change once you start to heal this. And I like this part because oftentimes when we're on this journey, we feel like we're fed up. We feel like we're done with healing. We don't want therapy anymore. We're getting nowhere. Well, this is kind of going to tell you, this part, when you start to heal this, it's you're bringing an ending to it. Then that's when the new things are going to come in, and you're going to see what's going to come in for you right here. So this is number 5. One card, please. The King of Wands. All right. Sorry, I seem to be clearing my throat here. I just had something to eat, something small, and then it's kind of stuck in my throat here. All right, so let us clarify these cards with the Rider-Waite deck. And then I'll pull an oracle card at the end from the Sacred Creators Oracle for you. And what I'm also going to do is I'm going to recommend you some videos from my other channel, Carol Cares. And those videos are going to be you can be more specific to what you're dealing with today in this reading. All right, so can we have more clarification on this Two of Swords, please? Well, we have the, interesting, we have the Knight of Wands, and another Knight card right beside it, which is a Knight of Swords. I don't think I've seen that before, a Knight beside a Knight. I've seen aces beside each other, but it's rare that you see two Knights. So that tells me a lot there. Three of Pentacles. Can you give me some more information on that, please? Okay, there's too many cards there. So I'm going to pick up these two that fell out right there. And the Four of Cups was the first one. And then these two cards were the Ace of Pentacles in reverse and the Knight of Pentacles. So you have another Knight coming out here. 3 Knights in your shadow. Wow. Okay, so how's it showing up in your daily life? Can you tell me some more about this Page of Swords right here? You have the Star card in reverse. Page of Cups, another page. And the Hangman in reverse. And can you tell me some more about the Moon and the Three of Swords here? This is the healing part. You have 2 cards that I will go and retrieve from the floor. And they are the Moon in reverse. Yeah, it was for these, okay. And the 2 of Wands in reverse. Couldn't remember if it was from here or here. Okay, the King of Wands. A couple cards here. You have the Nine of Wands. Is that the second time I've seen that? And King of Cups. Talking to myself here. And the 7 of Pentacles. 2 kings. 2 kings. Interesting. Okay. All right. Now, to begin your reading, I have an overriding energy for you. And in January 2024, I did your yearly reading, Libra, and I pulled out 12 cards for you. And your card for July was the Devil in reverse. That is your overriding energy. So what is the Devil? What's it represent when it comes in my readings? And it's in reverse, but we'll talk about the reverse part in a second. But the Devil card talks about these 2 individuals here who are feeling very much attached. Have these attachments. They're trapped actually with this chain. They're chained up. And so what is it in our life that's this devil and it's chain that we feel chained up? Well, we have attachments in our life, and oftentimes our attachments, I call them my addictions, your addictions. Every single one of us, we're human. We all have addictions. And I mean, addictions just... I mean, I'm going to talk about my own addictions, but you know, they help you when you want to numb out. And that's what we use addictions for, because there's something coming up, there's pain coming up, there's things that we don't want to deal with that are sitting in our shadow. And people often wonder, well, why do I have addictions? Like, you know, obviously we know we're using it to numb out, but we don't always know what it is that's coming up for us, that we're, you know, because we'll go into periods where our addictions are stronger than other times, when we need them more than other times. But because they're in reverse here, this is saying it's kind of like there is a resistance to even looking at your addiction, or realizing that you're numbing out, you know, on something. Or because, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you have an addiction, you need to stop. But what this is telling me, that, you know, this overriding energy is they're asking you to, the tarot's asking you to bring awareness to, because it's in reverse, that, you know, you are numbing out. And so we're going to look at this reading, and maybe this is going to help you understand what is going on with you this July. And maybe, see why you're numbing out. Like, there's something in your life that you need to start working on, something that you start healing. So Libra, you can bring some sort of freedom or peace to yourself. And I use the word freedom because you have 2 knights right here starting off what's coming out with you. So, let's talk about the 2 of Swords first. The 2 of Swords is the first thing that comes out. And the 2 of Swords is, it often refers to like a choice to be made, a decision to be made. Maybe you're sitting with, some sort of struggle right now, some tough one on in your life coming up in July where you need to make a decision. But this is from your shadow. So I'm seeing here that from your shadow, this 2 of Swords energy is like you were in a situation when you were younger, and it could have been a decision you had to make, but it's more of like where you saw absolutely no way out of your situation. As an adult, we know we can get our way out of things. As a child, we can't. And so this is kind of like, you feeling like you see no way out. This is like there is no way out. So when you were a child, not only did you feel like you had no way out in your head, you knew you were in a situation where you saw no way out. You were quite trapped in your situation. And excuse me, this Knight of Wands and this Knight of Swords are coming out here. Now, both of these mean 2 different things, but I will talk about the Knight in particular. The Knight in my deck is what I call my freedom fighter. So it's that part of us, and usually it's like that teenage part of us, like, the age you were as a teenager, and you can think of a teenager, how all they want to be is be free to be themselves and do what they want to do. And so I'm seeing here, maybe this is you when you were an adolescent, because it's the Knight, it's a teenage part of us, right? So it's like you had this Knight of Wand here. You knew what you wanted to do, because the wand here is about your purpose. So maybe there's something you wanted to do when you were younger. You wanted to take your life in a certain direction. And a Knight of Swords is also, it talks about the authentic sword. You wanted to be you. You might have had a very strong feeling of what you wanted to do, who you wanted to be, but you couldn't. And that's why you felt so trapped. You couldn't. And this is what's coming up for you to heal right now, where you are feeling so trapped. And when this freedom is coming up right now of wanting to be free and wanting to take your life in a different direction, and that's what you wanted when you were younger. And if you were told no, or you weren't allowed to, that's going to bring up so many emotions, painful emotions, sometimes anger, sometimes hopelessness, right? So, and that could explain why you're sitting with this addiction card coming up and, bringing awareness to all of this, because you have these big, huge freedom fighters that are coming in here telling me that when you were younger, maybe you were a real spitfire, maybe you were one of those adolescents that just pushed the limits because you knew you wanted to be free and you couldn't. You couldn't be free to be you and do what you wanted to do. So let's get some more information about this in number 2. And number 2 says it starts off with the 3 of Pentacles. And I love the depiction of the 3 of Pentacles in this card. In the Rider-Waite deck, and normally, I think how other readers might read it is that because this is a healing channel, I see it a little bit differently, but it's the Pentacles speak to me. 3 in particular talks about co-creation, working with somebody all the time. But because it's the healing channel, I see this as, grabbing onto that rope and grabbing onto that rope for support, for help, right? And so I'm understanding now that when you were younger, you were very much in a situation where you were not supported, where you were not validated, which kind of explains about this freedom that you wanted so badly, but it just, you weren't validated, you weren't supported into doing what you wanted to do or to be authentic. And I think what happened here was, when this happens, when you are not validated or supported, and oftentimes what it means to me is that your emotions that you felt would have been shut down completely. And so this would have been you as an individual where you have these three emotions here and you're like, fine, I'm done. I'm shut right down because I'm not allowed to be the person I want to be. Maybe you were told, put that anger away. If you were an adolescent and you had this freedom fighter going on and wanting to be authentic and free and do something, and you're told no, and then you express some anger, and then you're not allowed to express that anger. So it's like a domino effect. And here you are, you're like, well, I'm not feeling validated, supported. Something told you that, you're not allowed to feel these certain feelings, and so you shut down, which explains what happens, why we have these addictions, because you have this pain, this underlying pain here that wants to come up and be felt, and we just numb it out. And then the Ace of Pentacles comes right after that, and it's in reverse here. Pentacle is all about, what is the pentacle? The pentacles are body and everything that we experience with it. Could be our workspace, it could be our health, it could be our relationships with other people. But it's in reverse here. And so you shut down. And so, you were no longer in your body. You were no longer in your body. And so what do we do when we shut down and we don't feel anymore? Well, we go right back. We go right into our heads. That's what happens to us when we were younger. And then you have this, the Knight of Pentacles here. Another night. Another night. And this is the freedom. You wanted the freedom. You wanted the freedom to be in your body. You wanted the freedom to be, to have these healthy relationships. You wanted the freedom to, have good health and do what you want to do the job you wanted to do, right? And so this whole line of, you've probably heard me say the word freedom a few times. So it just screams of you wanting freedom to be you, to do what you wanted to do, and you couldn't. And that's what's coming up for you to heal, because there are emotions that are connected to this when you were not allowed to do this. And it sounds like you had to suppress them because the Three of Pentacles says there was no support there for you. And then in this part right here says, well, how is it showing up in your daily life? Well, you have the Page of Swords here. You have two pages in this how it's showing up. So I'm going to say right away that you have to understand what a page is. In my deck, there's 4 of them, right? So a page is our inner child. And mainstream psychology will say, well, we have one inner child. Well, I've been on this intensive healing journey for myself intensively for 7 years, longer for, not as intense, that's for sure. And I have more than one inner child. Because our inner children hold different parts and different emotions, because different things happen to us, right? Depending on your the amount of trauma you may have in your system. And each page is going to represent something for you. And so you start off with the Page of Swords, which is the main one. And this is the young child of yours. This is coming out in your daily life here. This shadow right here we talk about. This is the younger child of yours, and they hold the sword of authenticity of who you are. And so there's very much your younger child of finding out who they are and not knowing who they are is spilling out into your daily life. Because, you had a Knight of Swords over here that wanted the freedom to be who you wanted to be. You wanted to be authentic, and it was not supported. And so in your adult life, you're still searching. Your younger child is coming out here wanting to find out show you who they are. They know who you are, but you don't know who you are. Your younger child does. And so there's a younger part of you that needs healing. A younger child that needs healing, that knows who you are. And the star card comes right behind it. And the star card is healing, right? And it's in reverse here. And this just says what I was just saying. There's a younger child here that's unhealed. You need to heal this. And because it's unhealed, it can show up in different ways in our life where, if we don't know who we are, we can our ego self will put on all these different masks for us in our life. And we're different people for different reasons. And so we really do hide ourselves because we don't know who we are. It was taken away from us. When we were younger, you weren't allowed to be you. And so now you're spending your life putting all these different masks on, and that's not who you are. But we don't want to get to that pain of feeling that pain that we're supposed to feel to heal these inner children where it was blocked when we were younger. And here's your second one. This is your second page that's come out here. This page, if there's any page you want to get to know, any inner child you want to get to know, it's the Page of Cups. They are the one who are the most powerful in your system because they have love backing them up. They have this cup. Unfortunately, they're going to wreak the most havoc in your life because I call them the love seeker. They're the ones that are going out to find. They're going to go out and try to find all that love and all that support that they didn't get when they were younger. And they're going to try to find it in all the people around them. And that's why we'll tend to attract the same type of people. Because this little love seeker, it's going to call them all in. We have this term manifesting. Well, you're going to manifest. You're going to keep calling all in these people that aren't meant to come into your space because you're just repeating that same pattern over and over and over again because you're not healed. You're trying to get this love. You're trying to get this attention, this support that you didn't get when you were younger. And this little Page of Cups is the one that needs the most healing because, like I said, it has love behind them and they're looking for love in all the wrong places with all the wrong people. And so that's how you could actually be someone who's a real people pleaser as well, where you're trying to find that love as a child and you're still trying to find it in all your adult relationships. And then you have the Hanged Man that's in reverse here. The Hanged Man in an upright position is very much someone who is hanging here and is very comfortable being them, comfortable in their own skin. But you're in reverse here. You're just really not comfortable in your own skin because you know what? You don't know who you are. And you're searching for the love everywhere. And it can, like I said, it can really wreak havoc on our life when we're searching for that one person, that one savior that's going to come and give us that support, give us that love. It's going to save us, from this pain that our two little young pages here, they need to feel. They need to feel. And maybe this is where your addictions are coming in, where there's some healing that needs to be done. But, if we keep numbing it with our addictions, then we just ignore these inner children of ours. And they're going to keep coming up. They're going to keep coming up. So how can you start to heal this? What's the tarot say about your healing? It's interesting here. You start off with the Moon card in an upright position. And then you have a Moon card again, but it's in reverse. So what's the Moon card mean as, how can I heal this? Wow, the Moon card. The Moon card's a powerful major arcana card, very powerful. It represents all those things that are unseen about ourselves. It represents getting really, really, really vulnerable with ourselves. And, you know, these two individuals are naked with themselves. And really getting to know themselves, really taking a deep dive into their unconscious, their shadow, those things that are hidden. It's time here because you have the moon twice here. You really need to heal, really need to, and you do that by getting back in your body because that's where your emotions are that need to come out. These pages have your answers. They're hidden right now. There are things that are hidden from you, but you get at it through getting to your unconscious. You did have, you know, pentacles here, which is the body again. The card that comes right behind the moon, the things that are unknown. Here's the pain. Here's the pain is the Three of Swords. That's the pain. That's the pain card in the deck. You know, as soon as you see the Three of Swords, that's pain. But it is so blocked. And, I mean, we already talked about your addictions and how it blocks your pain. I hadn't even like, I don't really know the cards I deal out until I look at them. And then that Devil card was there because we talked about how, you know, how it came out in my reading in January for you. But there's a lot of pain here. And it's definitely sitting here. And I'm wondering if a lot of your pain is unknown to you. We can be sitting sometimes, and that was my situation, where I knew I had a lot of pain. I knew there was something wrong with me. I had addictions to cover it up. I had lots of addictions, but I didn't necessarily know what was wrong with me. And that was the biggest thing that got me into therapy, got me back into therapy. And I was struggling my whole life trying to find therapy that would help me. I mean, how do you go to somebody and say, help me, when I don't know what's wrong with me, but I know there's something wrong with me? And that was kind of my situation until I got a few flashbacks. And that's when I realized that, okay, now I know where I am a bit. But yeah, there's like, I'm seeing here that there's some unknown pain to you that, you know, probably bigger than you think it is, more than you think you have, because the moon card, and then this Three of Swords is in reverse, and then you get the moon card again coming out here in reverse here. But so I think the universe is saying, you know, once you start to uncover those things that are hidden, because they're hidden here, but once you start to delve into these things that are hidden, start. You know, we're not saying, you know, I mean, I just finished telling you that you maybe have more than you think you have, but you start small. You start where you are. And once you start to uncover some of that, there's a new direction here for you. There's something here. The Two of Wands talks about there's something out there. It's just the beginning. Just the beginning of taking your life in a new direction. But that's what's going to start here. You're going to, you know, you have to make the conscious decision to uncover some of this pain and to take your life into that direction of doing that. Excuse me, there's no one else that can do it for you except you, Libra. No one else. And so once you start to uncover some of this pain that you may be covering up with some addictions, you're going to be going into a different direction. So how's your life going to change here? Well, the King of Wands comes out here, and the King of Wands is it's our masculine side of us. We have a feminine side of us and we have a masculine side. It doesn't matter what gender you are. We all have masculine and feminine qualities. This is your ego self, okay? This is your ego self. And it's the King of Wands. And I have a funny feeling here that once you start to uncover some of these things about yourself that you don't know, painful things about yourself, you're going to have, and we talked about how you're going in a different direction here. Your life's going to kind of take a little turn for you. The King of Wands comes in here. And you have to be very careful, because when this happens, oftentimes our ego self will come out. And this is kind of a warning card for you. Oftentimes our ego self, the masculine side of us that really runs the show, will come out and say, you know, this intuition, going inwards, getting in touch with our emotions, getting in touch with our childhood and these inner children that need to be healed. And oftentimes the king will come out, our masculine side, our ego self will come out and say, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. And, you know, taking your life in a new direction, the direction you want to go into, you know, sort of a creative direction where you're doing something for yourself. Not allowed to do that. That's bullshit. So you have to be very careful with that. Very, very, you know that there's a part of you that will try to talk you out of it. And then the Nine of Wands comes as a way, you know, how your life's going to change. Well, here's the Nine of Wands here. And this is the Nine of Wands. You know, all these wands, think about your life where you've tried to, you know, pick yourself up and pick yourself up and pick yourself up and try to, you know, it's been a struggle. It's been a real struggle of trying to take your life into a direction. Maybe you've had this feeling of, you know, there's got to be more for me out there. There's something else out there for me. And you're pretty tired here. But, you know, there's a lot that has to be healed. And oftentimes we'll go through life, and I did for a while, long time actually, where it was just a battle for me and I just didn't know what it was, like I said. And it's like, this is saying, well, it's time to heal these. It's time to heal these. And that's what's going to come here for you, is that, you know, this is it's going to be a healing time for you. And then you have another king coming out. And again, it's the masculine side of us that, you know, you're going to have, once you start to heal this, you're going to have emotions that are going to come up that you're going to have to feel. Well, this ego self is going to come out and say, you're not going there. This is dangerous. Emotions are dangerous. So you're going to have your ego self that is really going to try to stop you from doing the healing work that you want to do, because our ego self is petrified of doing this work. And I think you're going to realize, the last card here is the Seven of Pentacles. You're going to realize, you know, you've been spending your entire life. This is usually, you know, this individual that spent their entire life doing the same thing. It's a pentacle, so it could be a job. It could be, you know, something you've spent your entire life working for. It could be your health too. Maybe your health hasn't been great your entire life and you've been struggling. Maybe you've been in and out of depression. Maybe you have, you know, the anxiety, your health hasn't been good. You know, and then I think this is the card where you're going to start to look at your life and you go, there is something else out there. There is something else out there for me. I've spent this entire time, you know, living through this trying to shove down all of this pain. But once you start reconnecting to your inner children and finding out, you know, what is their pain? What pain are they holding? And you're going to find out, oh my God, things are going to open up for me once you start connecting. I'm going to leave you with The videos I'm going to recommend for you are 2 videos. I'm going to leave you with a series on grounding to get back into your body so that you can start getting in touch with your intuition and starting to get in touch with your inner children. So grounding and also some journaling, because when you journal, you can start to journal, talk to your inner parts, talk to your inner children. And that's how I connect to my inner parts and my own, find out what my pain is. So journaling and grounding. So Libra, this has been a powerful reading for you this month. I'm going to leave you with an oracle card from Sacred Creators Oracle. If I haven't said that yet, I probably have. Okay, you got, wow, cut the cords of doubt. Now, I will say, without even having to look this one up, these are the 2 king cards that are here, right here. And we talked about the ego self and how they're going to put doubts in your head. Those need to be cut, right? And you do that by getting back in your body. And that's the grounding videos I'm going to give you, because you're going to get out of that head, because that's your ego self that's telling you all these things, to go down to your truth, right? This is the Knight of Swords here that wanted to know who you, that wanted to be you when you were younger. You're going to get back to that, but you got to get back in your body to find out your truth. Take care, Libra, and have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is the hardest journey of your life, but it's the most important one. Talk soon. Bye.